the ultimate guide to winning friends and building influence. Master networking and social success in the digital age. Introduction: the invisible currency of connection. In a world pulsating with digital noise and fleeting interactions, true connection often feels like a lost art. You scroll through endless feeds, see faces without feeling presence, and collect friends without forging bonds. Perhaps you feel the gnawing ache of professional stagnation, the quiet frustration of untapped potential, or the simple human longing for genuine belonging. This isn't just about networking in the old, transactional sense. It's about the invisible currency of influence, the profound power of authentic relationships in a digital age. You are holding the blueprint to unlock that power, to move from passive observer to active architect of your social and professional destiny. This is your wake-up call to a new era of connection. Chapter 1: The Wake-Up Call, Reclaiming Connection in a Disconnected World. Magnetic title: The Digital Paradox. Why we're more connected than ever yet feel so alone. Hook. You have a smartphone, 100 apps, and countless connections. So why does genuine social success feel more elusive than ever? This chapter confronts the aching disconnect of our hyperconnected world, revealing the hidden costs of superficiality and the urgent need to master authentic influence. Transformational core content. The digital age promised to bring us closer, but often it has isolated us. We communicate in emojis, not emotions. We like posts instead of loving people. This isn't just a lament, it's a strategic problem. Your career, your well-being, even your sense of purpose, are inextricably linked to your ability to build meaningful relationships. This chapter will dissect the digital paradox, the illusion of connection versus the reality of isolation. We'll explore how this paradox manifests in professional stagnation, such as missed opportunities and invisible talent, and in personal dissatisfaction, like loneliness and a lack of support, as well as societal fragmentation. We will move beyond the superficial symptoms to uncover the root causes: the algorithmic echo chambers, the curated self, the fear of vulnerability, and the commoditization of connection. The core promise is not to retreat from the digital world, but to strategically leverage it to amplify authentic connection, making it a powerful tool, not an isolating cage. We will establish the connection quotient, CQ, a holistic measure of your social capital, emphasizing quality over quantity. This chapter will lay the groundwork for understanding why mastering networking and social success is no longer a soft skill, but a hard necessity for survival and thriving in the 21st century. Let's elaborate on the digital paradox. The illusion of hyperconnectivity. Think about social media metrics like follower counts and likes versus the actual depth of your relationships. There's the weak ties phenomenon. These connections are useful for information, but often insufficient for genuine support. Consider the performative nature of online presence, where everyone presents their highlight reel. And then there's the constant, on-call mentality, where we're always available but rarely truly present. The reality of isolation. Despite digital ubiquity, we see rising rates of loneliness and social anxiety. This has a real impact on mental health, with depression and anxiety linked to social media use. Professionally, it leads to stagnation. Jobs are often found through networks, not just job boards, and your talent can remain invisible if your network isn't strong. A lack of mentorship or sponsorship often requires deep, trusted relationships. Personally, it manifests as a lack of emotional support and a diminished sense of belonging. Societally, we see echo chambers, polarization, and a breakdown of civil discourse. The root causes of disconnect. Algorithmic echo chambers. Platforms prioritize engagement over diverse perspectives, leading to insular views. The curated self. There's pressure to present a perfect image, hindering vulnerability and genuine connection. Fear of vulnerability. The perceived risk of being authentic in a world that seems to reward perfection. The commoditization of connection. Networking is often reduced to transactional exchanges, devoid of human warmth. Attention economy. The constant battle for our focus makes deep engagement rare. Now let's introduce and define the connection quotient, CQ. Beyond traditional networking. Networking 1.0 was transactional and shallow, focused on what can you do for me? We're moving towards networking 2.0, which is authentic and reciprocal, asking, how can we grow together? Defining CQ. CQ is a holistic measure of your social capital, emphasizing quality, depth, and mutual value. Its components include depth of relationships. How many truly deep, supportive relationships do you have? Breadth of influence. How diverse is your network across industries, demographics, and perspectives? Reciprocal value exchange. How often do you give and receive value in your network? Emotional intelligence and connection. Your ability to understand and manage emotions in social interactions. Authenticity and trust. The degree to which your connections are built on genuine trust. Why quality over quantity? Consider Dunbar's number, a concept suggesting a cognitive limit to the number of stable social relationships one can maintain. This is highly relevant in the digital age. The power of strong ties for support, innovation, and resilience is immense, while superficial connections offer diminishing returns. You can begin a preliminary self-assessment to gauge your current CQ. Let's establish the urgency and promise of this journey. The new imperative, mastering networking and social success, is no longer optional. For career advancement, most jobs are found through referrals. Innovation often comes from the cross-pollination of ideas from diverse networks. Strong social support builds resilience against stress and adversity. And personal fulfillment, a fundamental human need, comes from belonging. The promise of transformation. This journey is not about abandoning digital tools but mastering them. It's about using digital platforms to amplify real-world connection, moving from passive consumption to active architecture of your social destiny. It's a journey from isolation to impact, with the North Star of this book being a life rich in meaningful connections. This isn't a quick fix, but a journey requiring intentionality and practice. This book is your essential guide for this transformation. Consider the story of Sarah, a marketing executive with thousands of LinkedIn connections and a vast digital footprint. She initially felt pride in her large network, but it was followed by a growing sense of emptiness and professional stagnation despite her online visibility. Her realization was that her connections were broad but shallow. She then embarked on a journey to redefine networking by focusing on quality over quantity, which led to a profound shift in her career satisfaction and personal well-being. She began reaching out for genuine conversations instead of just likes. Think of the metaphor of the social algorithm versus the human heartbeat. Social media algorithms are designed to maximize screen time and engagement, like clicks, likes, and shares, rather than foster deep, meaningful human connection. This contrasts with the organic, nuanced rhythm of real human interaction, which thrives on vulnerability, empathy, and sustained presence. While we can understand and even hack the digital algorithm, our ultimate goal is to master the human algorithm, the subtle cues, emotional intelligence, and genuine reciprocity that build lasting bonds. Research from a recent Pew Research Center study on loneliness and social isolation in the digital age highlights the paradox of increased digital connectivity correlating with higher reported feelings of loneliness among various age groups. Consider a short, poignant story of a missed opportunity, perhaps a job interview, a potential business partnership, or a deep personal friendship that could have been forged if the individual had possessed the skills of genuine connection and moved beyond superficial digital interactions. This illustrates the tangible cost of the digital paradox. Your next great opportunity, your deepest fulfillment, and your most profound impact lie just beyond the screen, waiting for the authentic connections you're about to master. Chapter Introduction. Welcome to the Reality Check. In a world designed to connect us, we're often more disconnected than ever. This chapter rips off the Band-Aid, revealing the true cost of superficiality and setting the stage for a profound transformation in how you connect. Chapter Summary. Chapter 1 exposed the digital paradox, the illusion of hyperconnectivity masking deep social isolation. We explored how this impacts careers and personal well-being, establishing the critical need for a new approach to social success. We introduced the concept of the connection quotient, CQ, and the urgency of moving from passive consumption to active, authentic relationship building. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, some reflection questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do you truly feel in your personal life? In your professional life? What factors contribute to this rating? List 3 opportunities, personal or professional, you believe you may have missed or struggled with due to a lack of strong, authentic connections. Be specific. What role does your smartphone or primary digital device play in your current feelings of connection or disconnection? How much time do you spend on social media daily and how does it make you feel? For a journal prompt, consider this. Describe a specific moment when you felt truly disconnected despite being surrounded by people or digital interactions. What was the underlying emotion you experienced and what do you think triggered it? Here's a practical tip. The digital detox micro habit. Start with a daily 15-minute conscious break from all screens. During this time, actively engage with your immediate physical environment, a single person, or non-digital activity like reading a physical book or taking a walk. For an influence hack, try the authenticity audit. Spend 10 minutes reviewing your primary social media profiles such as LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. Ask yourself, do these profiles truly reflect who you are, your values, and your genuine interests, or are they a curated facade designed for external validation? Identify one area where you could be more authentic. To deepen your understanding, consider the insights from Sherry Tuckle's Alone Together, Why We Expect More from Technology and Less from Each Other, which underscores the historical context of declining social capital and the psychological impact of digital communication. Also, Robert Putnam's Bowling Alone, The Collapse and Revival of American Community provides a broader sociological context for the decline of community engagement. Dr. Vivek Murthy, former U.S. Surgeon General, has spoken on the public health crisis of loneliness and its profound impact on physical and mental well-being, emphasizing the urgency of addressing social isolation. Here's an actionable template you can use: My Connection Audit Worksheet. This detailed template helps you assess your current social landscape. It includes sections for a current connections inventory. List 10 to 15 key people in your personal and professional life. A relationship quality scorecard. Rate each connection on a scale of 1 to 5 for depth, mutual support, and authenticity. A connection gaps analysis. Identify areas where you feel a lack of connection, such as mentors, industry peers, or emotional support. And desired connection outcomes. Pinpoint 3 to 5 specific types of connections you want to cultivate and why. Chapter 2. The Inner Shift. Reclaiming your authentic power in every interaction. Magnetic title: Beyond Introvert/Extrovert, Unlocking Your Innate Connection Superpowers. Hook. Are you an introvert tired of feeling sidelined, or an extrovert struggling with superficiality? This chapter shatters limiting labels, revealing how to leverage your unique wiring to build profound influence, regardless of your perceived social type. Transformational core content. For too long, we've allowed outdated labels like introvert and extrovert to define our social potential. This chapter is about dissolving those self-imposed limitations and recognizing that true influence stems not from an arbitrary personality type, but from authentic presence and intentionality. We will introduce the concept of social energy management, understanding what depletes and replenishes your social battery, irrespective of your preference for solitude or company. We'll debunk the myth that networking is solely for the outgoing and instead highlight the profound power of thoughtful listening, strategic observation, and deep empathy, often natural strengths of those who consider themselves introverted. Conversely, we will guide extroverts to move beyond superficial breadth to cultivate depth and genuine resonance. The core shift here is from performing social success to being authentically connected. We'll explore the authentic presence framework, emphasizing self-awareness, which is understanding your values, strengths, and fears. Self-acceptance, which is embracing your unique social style, and intentionality, which is choosing where and how to invest your social energy. This chapter lays the psychological bedrock, enabling readers to transform self-doubt into self-assurance, recognizing that their inherent qualities are not liabilities but assets in building influence. We will challenge you to redefine social success, not as popularity, but as the ability to forge meaningful, mutually beneficial relationships from a place of genuine self. Let's elaborate on beyond introvert/extrovert labels. The problem with labels. Labels often create self-limiting beliefs like, I'm too shy, or I'm not a people person. Most people actually fall somewhere on a spectrum of human behavior, often being ambiverts. The key is focusing on behavior and intention, not fixed traits. Social energy management. Understand your personal social battery, what drains it and what recharges it. Identify your unique social triggers and preferences. For introverts, strategies include strategic entry and exit from social gatherings and focused one-on-one interactions. For extroverts, it means cultivating depth through active listening, asking deeper questions, and slowing down. Self-care and preventing social burnout are crucial for everyone. Debunking networking myths. Myth 1: Networking is only for extroverts. The truth is, the power of deep listening, thoughtful questions, and preparation are often more effective. Myth 2: You need to be charismatic. Authenticity and empathy are actually more powerful. Myth 3: It's about collecting business cards. It's truly about building trust. Now let's introduce and define the authentic presence framework. Component 1, self-awareness, knowing your social superpower. This involves identifying your core values, what truly matters to you. Recognize your strengths. Are you a great listener, a connector, an idea generator, or problem solver? Understand your fears and insecurities, acknowledging them without letting them control you. Develop your signature value proposition. What unique blend of skills, experiences, and personality do you bring to interactions? You can do this through value clarification exercises, strengths assessments, and fear mapping. Component 2, self-acceptance, embracing your unique social style. Let go of comparison. Your journey is unique. Embrace the power of vulnerability by appropriately sharing your authentic self. Reframe awkwardness as authenticity and cultivate self-compassion, being kind to yourself during social learning. Component 3, intentionality, choosing where and how to invest your social energy. Practice strategic selectivity. Not every connection is for everyone. Set clear social goals. What do you want from your interactions? Engage in pre-event preparation, researching and setting intentions. And post-event reflection, what worked, what didn't. Align your social interactions with your values and energy levels. Let's discuss transforming self-doubt to self-assurance. The inner critic versus the inner guide. Recognize and challenge negative self-talk and develop a positive internal narrative about your social abilities. Mindset shifts for confidence. Shift from what if I fail to what if I learn. From they'll judge me to I'm here to connect authentically. From it's too hard to I'm capable of growth. Practical confidence builders. Preparation, knowing your why and what to say. Small wins, celebrating tiny steps forward. Body language, practicing power poses and open posture. Visualization, mentally rehearsing successful interactions. Redefining social success. It's not about popularity or superficial connections, but about genuine, meaningful relationships that align with your values and the ability to make a positive impact through connection. Consider David, a software engineer who identifies as intensely introverted. Despite this, he built a powerful network and successfully launched his own niche startup. He initially struggled with large networking events, but strategically shifted his focus to deep, one-on-one coffee meetings and highly targeted online forums. He used specific techniques for active listening, asking insightful questions that revealed genuine needs, and leveraging his analytical mind to provide unique value. His introverted strengths became his greatest assets in building influence. Think of the metaphor of the social battery and recharging stations. Everyone has a social battery that gets depleted and recharged differently. Various social interactions, like large parties or deep one-on-one conversations, consume energy at different rates. Recharging stations are specific activities or environments, such as solitude, creative pursuits, or time in nature, that replenish one's social energy, regardless of whether they identify as introverted or extroverted. It's vital to recognize your own energy patterns and proactively manage them to avoid burnout. Research from Susan Cain's Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, highlights studies that demonstrate the underestimated power of introversion in leadership, innovation, and deep relationship building. Challenging common misconceptions about social effectiveness. Imagine a personal story about overcoming a deeply ingrained self-limiting belief regarding social anxiety or perceived awkwardness. Perhaps a specific moment of vulnerability or intentional action led to the formation of a truly impactful relationship, demonstrating that authentic connection often begins when we drop our guard. Your unique wiring isn't a limitation, it's your personal superpower for building influence when you learn to wield it with intention. Chapter Introduction. How often do you let a label dictate your potential? This chapter liberates you from outdated social types, revealing the profound power of your authentic self in building truly influential connections. Chapter Summary. Chapter 2 challenged the rigid categories of introversion and extroversion, reframing them as spectrums of social energy management. We introduced the authentic presence framework and emphasized self-awareness, acceptance, and intentionality as keys to unlocking innate connection superpowers, moving beyond performance to genuine social success. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Social Energy Map. This detailed template helps you track your daily interactions over a week. For each interaction, note the type of interaction, its duration, your energy level before and after on a scale of 1 to 5, and what contributed to energy gain or drain. This helps identify personal patterns and recharging stations. Now, some reflection questions. What specific limiting beliefs do you currently hold about your own social abilities, such as I'm too shy, I'm not charismatic enough, or I don't know what to say? How might these beliefs be holding you back? Think of a perceived social weakness you possess. How could you reframe this weakness into a unique strength or valuable asset in building connections? For example, I'm quiet could become, I'm a great listener. For a journal prompt, consider this: if you had no labels, like introvert, extrovert, shy, or outgoing, how would you describe your ideal social interaction style? What would it look like, sound like, and feel like, and what kind of connections would you naturally gravitate towards? Here's a practical tip: strategic solitude. Before any high-stakes social engagement, such as a large conference or an important networking event, schedule a deliberate block of alone time, perhaps 30 to 60 minutes, to mentally prepare, visualize success, and recharge your social battery. For an influence hack, try the empathetic mirror. During conversations, practice active listening by occasionally paraphrasing or summarizing what the other person has said before offering your own response. This demonstrates genuine understanding and makes the other person feel heard and valued. To deepen your understanding, consider citations from prominent psychology texts on self-efficacy, like Bandura's work, and stereotype threat, specifically how these concepts apply to an individual's perceived social abilities and performance. Experts in positive psychology, such as Martin Seligman or Angela Duckworth, emphasize the importance of self-compassion, a growth mindset, and resilience in fostering personal growth and overcoming social challenges. Here's an actionable template you can use: authentic introduction script. This fill-in-the-blanks template helps you craft a genuine, value-driven self-introduction that goes beyond a mere job title. It prompts you to include your core passion or mission, a unique skill or area of expertise, the type of problems you love to solve, and a brief, relatable anecdote. For example, "Hi, I'm your name. I'm deeply passionate about your passion/mission because reason. What I bring to the table is unique skill/expertise, and I particularly love helping people. Problem you solve. Just last week, I brief relatable anecdote." Chapter 3, The Hidden Obstacles, Dismantling the Digital Age's Connection Barriers. Magnetic title: Decoding Disconnect. Overcoming the 5 Invisible Walls to Real Relationship Building. Hook. You try to connect, but your messages get lost, your efforts feel forced, and genuine bonds remain elusive. This chapter exposes the stealthy barriers of the digital age, from information overload to fear of rejection, and equips you to dismantle them, one by one. Transformational core content. The digital landscape, while offering unprecedented reach, also presents formidable barriers to authentic connection. This chapter systematically identifies and offers solutions for the 5 invisible walls that hinder social success in the digital age. The wall of information overload and attention scarcity. Everyone is bombarded, making genuine communication a signal amidst noise. We'll provide strategies for cutting through the clutter, crafting concise and compelling messages, and respecting others' attention. The wall of superficiality and the curated self. Social media encourages a polished facade, making vulnerability and authenticity challenging. We'll explore how to foster genuine expression online and offline, encouraging calculated vulnerability. The wall of fear of rejection and vulnerability hangover. The ease of digital ghosting or unanswered messages amplifies our innate fear of rejection, leading to inaction. We'll reframe rejection as redirection, offering psychological resilience strategies and techniques for rejection therapy. The wall of transactional thinking. The pervasive "what's in it for me" mentality turns networking into a series of exchanges, devoid of genuine connection. We'll introduce the giver's gain philosophy and the power of generosity in relationship building. The wall of digital addiction and social displacement. Excessive screen time can displace real-world interactions and diminish social skills. We'll provide practical methods for digital hygiene and intentional offline engagement. For each wall, we will provide specific, actionable strategies, mindset shifts, and communication techniques to overcome these prevalent challenges. The goal is not just to identify the problems but to empower you with the tools to navigate and conquer them, transforming potential pitfalls into pathways for profound connection. Let's elaborate on the 5 invisible walls. 1. The wall of information overload and attention scarcity. The problem is the sheer volume of emails, messages, notifications, and content, creating a signal-to-noise problem. People are overwhelmed and their attention is fragmented, so your message gets lost. This results in low response rates, perceived rudeness, frustration, and missed opportunities. Strategies for dismantling. Apply the concise and compelling rule. Learn how to write subject lines and opening sentences that grab attention immediately. Respect attention, get to the point, offer value up front, and understand their context. Consider strategic timing. When are people most likely to respond? E.g., not Monday morning. Use a multi-channel approach with caution. Know when to use email, LinkedIn, text, or call. Follow the one core idea principle. Focus on conveying one clear message per communication. Understand personalization at scale. Learn how to personalize effectively without it being time-consuming. For example, craft a LinkedIn message that cuts through the noise by immediately referencing a shared interest or recent achievement. 2. The wall of superficiality and the curated self. The problem is that social media encourages a polished, often unrealistic facade. This makes genuine vulnerability and authentic connection challenging as people fear judgment or appearing imperfect. This leads to a lack of trust, shallow relationships, imposter syndrome, and emotional distance. Strategies for dismantling. Practice calculated vulnerability. This is the art of sharing appropriate personal details or struggles that build rapport without oversharing. Cultivate an authentic online presence. Showcase your real self, including your passions and values, not just your professional achievements. Ask deeper questions. Move beyond small talk to questions that invite genuine thought and emotion. Leverage the power of shared experience. Find common ground in real-life challenges or triumphs. Embrace imperfection. Understand that authenticity is more attractive than perfection. For example, sharing a minor professional setback in the lesson learned can make you more relatable than only showcasing successes. 3. The wall of fear of rejection and vulnerability hangover. The problem is that the ease of digital ghosting, unanswered messages, or perceived social slights amplifies our innate fear of rejection, leading to inaction or withdrawal. The vulnerability hangover is the regret after putting yourself out there. This results in missed opportunities, self-sabotage, social anxiety, and stagnation. Strategies for dismantling. Reframe rejection as redirection. Every no brings you closer to a yes. It's data, not a judgment of your worth. Practice rejection therapy. This is a psychological technique involving intentionally seeking small rejections to desensitize oneself to the fear. Build emotional resilience. Use mindfulness, self-compassion, and cognitive reframing techniques. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. Celebrate the act of reaching out, regardless of the response. Perform a pre-mortem analysis. Anticipate potential rejections and plan your emotional response in advance. For example, mentally process an unanswered email by focusing on learning rather than self-criticism. 4. The wall of transactional thinking. The problem is the pervasive what's in it for me mentality that turns networking into a series of exchanges where people only connect when they need something, devoid of genuine connection or long-term investment. This leads to superficial relationships, a lack of trust, feeling used, and an inability to build a strong support system. Strategies for dismantling. Embrace the giver's gain philosophy. Always seek to offer value first, without expectation of immediate reciprocation. Adopt an abundance mindset. Believe there's enough success for everyone, fostering collaboration over competition. Practice proactive generosity. Regularly look for ways to help, connect others, or share resources. Invest in long-term relationships. Understand that true value accrues over time. Identify your value currency. What unique value can you offer, such as insights, connections, time, or skills? Recognize the power of small gestures. Even minor acts of kindness can have a significant impact. For example, offering a relevant article to a contact, purely as a helpful gesture, can open doors to future, more meaningful interactions. 5. The wall of digital addiction and social displacement. The problem is that excessive screen time and over-reliance on digital communication can displace real-world interactions, diminish crucial social skills, such as reading body language, and lead to a feeling of being constantly on, but never truly present. This results in reduced empathy, social awkwardness, physical and mental fatigue, and neglected real-world relationships. Strategies for dismantling. Implement digital hygiene practices. Set boundaries for screen time and designate no phone zones. Engage in intentional offline engagement. Proactively schedule in-person meetings, coffee chats, or social gatherings. Practice presence. Use techniques for being fully engaged in the moment during conversations, both online and offline. Relearn nonverbal cues. Consciously observe body language, eye contact, and vocal tone in real-world interactions. Try the Digital Fast Challenge. Periodically take a complete break from specific digital platforms to recalibrate. For example, commit to putting your phone away during meals or conversations to foster deeper engagement with those physically present. Consider the story of Alex, a budding entrepreneur who initially struggled with unreturned emails and ignored LinkedIn messages, leading to significant frustration and self-doubt. His story details his systematic shift in approach, from generic mass outreach to highly personalized, value-first messages, and from fearing rejection to embracing it as a learning opportunity. He developed a specific, follow-up strategy that finally started yielding responses and reframed his mindset to overcome the fear of putting himself out there. Think of the metaphor of the digital smokescreen. The digital environment can be like a thick smoke screen that, while appearing to connect, actually obscures genuine human connection. Noise, superficiality, and fear create a barrier requiring specific tools, like a smoke filter or thermal vision, to see through the digital haze and truly reach the person on the other side. The screen is a medium, but it's not the destination for true connection. Recent data on email open rates, social media engagement drops, and the average human attention span in the digital age underscore the immense challenge of information overload and attention scarcity, providing a quantitative basis for the need for more strategic and compelling communication. Imagine a short, compelling story of someone who consciously transformed a typically transactional connection, such as a cold sales lead, into a deep, lasting professional relationship. The pivotal moment might have been when they shifted their approach from trying to get something to genuinely giving value, demonstrating the power of the giver's gain philosophy in action. The walls are only invisible until you learn to see them. Once seen, they become opportunities to build stronger bridges. Chapter Introduction. Ever feel like you're shouting into the void online? This chapter exposes the invisible barriers of the digital age, from information overload to fear of rejection, and hands you the blueprint to dismantle them, one by one. Chapter Summary. Chapter 3 identified the 5 invisible walls hindering connection in the digital age: information overload, superficiality, fear of rejection, transactional thinking, and digital addiction. We provided actionable strategies and mindset shifts to dismantle each wall, transforming obstacles into opportunities for deeper, more authentic relationship building. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Digital Distraction Audit. This detailed log helps you track your daily digital consumption for 3 to 5 days. For each instance of social media use, note the platform used, time spent, purpose, and how it made you feel afterwards. This helps identify patterns of digital addiction and assess if screen time is contributing to or detracting from genuine connection. Now, some reflection questions. Which of the 5 invisible walls resonates most strongly with your personal experience? Provide a specific example of how it has impacted your efforts to connect. What's one small, immediate action you can commit to taking this week to either reduce digital noise in your life or increase authenticity in your online interactions? For a journal prompt, consider this. Describe a time when you felt misunderstood or ignored in a digital interaction, such as an email or message. What was the underlying cause from your perspective, and what could you have done differently to break through that wall? Here's a practical tip: the 3-sentence rule. When sending initial outreach emails or direct messages to new contacts, aim to keep your message to a maximum of 3 concise sentences. This respects the recipient's attention scarcity and significantly increases the likelihood of a response. For an influence hack, try strategic vulnerability starters. Practice small, low-stakes ways to show genuine humanity and build rapport. This could be admitting a minor, relatable struggle, sharing a personal, non-work-related triumph, or asking for a small, non-demanding piece of advice. To deepen your understanding, consider citations from cognitive psychology studies on information overload, decision fatigue, and the impact of multitasking on attention and productivity. Also, research on the psychology of rejection sensitivity, resilience, and the effectiveness of exposure therapy, like rejection therapy in overcoming social fears. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, a rejection reframe script. This is a mental script or short paragraph you can use to immediately reframe unresponsiveness or perceived rejection. For example, okay, This didn't land as expected. That's data, not a judgment. What can I learn from this? Was my message clear? Was the timing right? Is this the right person or platform? Move on and apply the learning to the next attempt. Second, a value-first outreach email template. This customizable template helps you initiate contact with someone you admire or want to connect with, emphasizing offering value before asking for anything. The subject could be thought of you plus, relevant topic, or quick idea for their company/project. The body could be, hi, name, I recently saw or read their work/article/project and was really impressed by specific detail. It sparked an idea for brief, no strings attached value you can offer, such as a useful resource, a connection, or quick insight. No need to respond, just wanted to share in case it's helpful. Best your name. Chapter 4, The Breakthrough Blueprint. The S.U.C.C.E.S.S. Framework for Enduring Influence. Magnetic title. The S.U.C.C.E.S.S. Code. Your 7-step system for unstoppable social and professional growth. Hook. You felt the frustration, shifted your mindset, and identified the barriers. Now discover the breakthrough, a comprehensive, 7-step system that transforms how you connect, build influence, and achieve unparalleled social success. Transformational core content. This chapter is the heart of the book, presenting your core system, process, or method for authentically winning friends and building influence. We introduce the S.U.C.C.E.S.S. framework, a holistic, actionable, and repeatable 7-step blueprint designed to guide you from initial awareness to profound, lasting relationships. Each step is a distinct module yet integrated into a cohesive whole, building momentum and mastery. Let's elaborate on the S.U.C.C.E.S.S. framework. The S.U.C.C.E.S.S. framework. S. Self-awareness and signature value. Core concept. Understanding your unique strengths, passions, and the distinct value you bring to any interaction. This is about identifying your social superpower and articulating your signature value proposition. It's the foundation of authentic connection. Deep dive. Identify your core strengths. Beyond resume skills, what are your interpersonal strengths, such as empathy, curiosity, problem-solving, or humor? Define your passions and purpose. What truly energizes you? How can this inform your connections? Craft your signature value proposition. This is a concise statement of what unique benefit you offer others in a social or professional context. It's not a sales pitch, but a statement of your authentic contribution. Understand the why behind your connections, what drives you to connect. Align this with your values. Actionable steps. Conduct a personal SWOT analysis for social interactions. Try a value brainstorming exercise and craft and refine your signature value statement for different contexts, such as an elevator pitch or online bio. You understanding and unearthing needs. Core concept. The art of deep listening, asking insightful questions, and truly understanding the motivations, pain points, and aspirations of others. Moving beyond superficial conversation to empathetic inquiry. This is about making the other person feel truly seen and heard. Deep dive. Master active listening. Use techniques like paraphrasing, summarizing, and asking clarifying questions. Leverage the power of open-ended questions. Move beyond yes/no to questions that invite narrative and deeper thought. Identify pain points and aspirations. Listen for what truly matters to them, professionally and personally. Read between the lines. Understand nonverbal cues and unspoken needs. Cultivate the curiosity mindset. Approach every interaction with genuine interest, not just a desire to speak. Actionable steps. Practice with an active listening matrix. Use question frameworks for uncovering hidden needs, such as, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Or, what are you most excited about learning next? And practice empathetic responses. See connection and cultivating resonance. Core concept. Strategies for creating immediate rapport, finding common ground, and fostering genuine emotional resonance. This involves body language, vocal tone, storytelling, and mutual discovery. It's about creating a felt sense of connection. Deep dive. Master nonverbal communication. Use open posture, eye contact, and subtle mirroring. Control vocal tone and pace. Use your voice to convey warmth, confidence, and engagement. Find common ground. Identify shared interests, experiences, or values. Master the art of relatable storytelling. Share brief, authentic anecdotes that resonate. Build mutual discovery. Collaboratively explore topics and share insights. Achieve an energy match. Adjust your energy to meet the other person's. Actionable steps. Use a rapport-building checklist for various settings, practice nonverbal communication exercises, and practice sharing short, relatable personal stories. See contribution and creating value. Core concept. How to offer help, share resources, and provide value proactively without expecting immediate reciprocation. This is the essence of the giver's gain mindset, where you shift from taking to giving. Deep dive. Understand the giver's gain philosophy. Generosity builds social capital exponentially. Identify opportunities to give. What resources, connections, or insights can you offer? Practice proactive value adds. Send a relevant article, make an introduction, or offer specific advice. Follow the no strings attached rule. Give without expectation of immediate return. Understand value currency. Different people value different things, such as time, information, emotional support, or connection. Recognize the power of small gestures. Even minor acts of kindness can have a significant impact. Actionable steps. Use a value-add brainstorming template for different contacts. Practice proactive outreach scripts focused on giving, and set a weekly generosity goal. Engagement and expanding circles. Core concept. Strategic methods for sustained interaction, nurturing relationships over time, and intelligently expanding your network. This includes follow-up strategies, digital engagement best practices, and event networking. It's about consistency and strategic growth. Deep dive. Master effective follow-up. Go beyond the generic, nice to meet you with personalized, value-driven follow-ups. Implement digital engagement best practices. Use meaningful comments, share relevant content, and celebrate others' wins. Develop an event networking playbook. Research pre-event, set intentions, mingle strategically, and follow up post-event. Use a relationship nurturing calendar. This is a system for consistent, personalized check-ins. Expand beyond your immediate circle. Learn strategies for meeting new people in relevant fields or communities. Leverage online groups and communities. Participate authentically in forums, LinkedIn groups, and other platforms. Actionable steps. Use a follow-up framework for different scenarios. Use an event networking checklist, and set up a simple relationship nurturing calendar. Sustaining and strengthening bonds. Core concept. Techniques for moving beyond initial connections to deeper, more resilient relationships. This involves vulnerability, trust building, conflict resolution, and long-term investment. It's about building resilience and depth. Deep dive. Understand the role of vulnerability and trust. Practice appropriate self-disclosure and emotional openness. Build reciprocity over time. This is the give and take that strengthens a relationship. Navigate conflict constructively. Use techniques for empathetic communication during disagreements and active listening during conflict. Leverage the power of shared experiences. Create new memories and share challenges. Practice long-term investment. Consistently show up, remember important details, and offer support during difficult times. Understand the trust equation, credibility plus reliability plus intimacy/self-orientation. Actionable steps. Implement trust-building protocols, such as keeping promises and confidentiality. Learn strategies for difficult conversations, and plan deepening activities, such as a longer coffee chat or shared project. Strategic leverage and scaled impact. Core concept. How to leverage your network ethically and effectively to achieve larger goals, create opportunities for others, and multiply your influence for collective benefit. This isn't about manipulation, but about collaborative growth and positive impact. Deep dive. Practice ethical leverage. Use your influence for mutual benefit and positive outcomes. Use network mapping and opportunity matrix. Identify key connections for specific goals. Follow strategic introduction guidelines. Learn how to make effective, value-driven introductions that benefit all parties. Identify collaborative ventures. Find opportunities for joint projects, partnerships, or initiatives. Multiply your influence. Empower others in your network, becoming a superconnector for good. Master the ask with grace. Learn how to confidently ask for support when genuinely needed without being transactional. Actionable steps. Perform a network mapping exercise. Use a strategic introduction script and identify collaborative opportunities within your network. Consider the journey of Maria, a young professional who, by meticulously applying the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, transformed a cold outreach to an admired industry leader into a profound and transformative mentorship. Her story highlights her initial self-awareness, her deep research to understand the mentor's needs, her authentic approach to connection, her proactive offering of value, her consistent engagement, how the relationship deepened over time, and how she eventually leveraged the relationship for mutual growth. Her initial email, follow-up messages, and key insights from her conversations demonstrate the power of this framework. Think of the metaphor of the relationship garden. The S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework is like cultivating a thriving garden. Each step represents a crucial aspect of gardening. S. Self-awareness, knowing your soil, your foundation, and what seeds you have, your unique value. U. Understanding, observing the needs of each plant, the other person, water, sunlight, nutrients. C. Connection, preparing the soil, planting the seeds, ensuring initial conditions for growth. C. Contribution, watering, fertilizing, providing support without expecting immediate fruit. E. Engagement, consistent weeding, pruning, and tending to the garden. S. Sustaining, protecting the plants from pests, ensuring long-term health, adapting to seasons. S. Strategic, leverage, harvesting the fruits, sharing the bounty, and expanding the garden. This metaphor illustrates how each step contributes to a flourishing ecosystem of relationships. Research on the power of reciprocity in social psychology, such as Robert Cialdini's Principles of Influence, and studies demonstrating the long-term career and personal benefits of strong, diverse social networks, emphasize the compounding effect of consistent effort. Imagine a short, compelling story demonstrating a successful application of one of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S steps in a specific, impactful scenario. For example, a single, deeply insightful question from the understanding and unearthing needs step during a casual coffee meeting led to a breakthrough idea for a struggling colleague, ultimately opening a major professional door for both parties. This framework isn't just a guide, it's your personal operating system for a life built on powerful, authentic connections. Chapter Introduction. You've cleared the path. Now prepare to build. This chapter unveils the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, your comprehensive 7-step blueprint for mastering authentic influence and unlocking unparalleled social and professional growth. Chapter Summary. Chapter 4 introduced the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, a 7-step system for building enduring influence. Each step, self-awareness, understanding, connection, contribution, engagement, sustaining, and strategic leverage, was detailed with actionable insights, providing a holistic blueprint for authentic social success. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, my S.U.C.C.E.S.S Action Planner. This multi-page template provides specific prompts and exercises for each of the 7 S.U.C.C.E.S.S steps. For each step, you'll reflect on your current strengths and weaknesses, identify 1 to 3 specific actions to take in the next week, and list potential challenges and how you'll overcome them. For example, for self-awareness, prompts might include, list 3 unique skills you bring to conversations, or what's one core value you want to embody in your interactions? Now, some reflection questions. Which step of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework do you feel is your strongest and why? Which do you feel is your weakest and what makes it challenging for you? How can you immediately apply one specific element of the understanding and unearthing needs step in your very next conversation, whether personal or professional? For a journal prompt, consider this. Visualize yourself successfully applying the entire S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to a significant personal or professional goal, such as landing a dream job, starting a new venture, or building a strong community. What does that process look like, and what are the key interactions that lead to your success? Here's a practical tip. The 3-word connection. Immediately after an important interaction, take 30 seconds to summarize the core connection point in 3 key words or a very short phrase, such as mutual passion for AI, shared struggle with burnout, or insightful career advice. This helps reinforce memory and personalize future follow-ups. For an influence hack, try the curiosity compel. Instead of making statements or offering unsolicited advice, cultivate the habit of asking open-ended questions that demonstrate genuine curiosity about the other person's perspective, experiences, or challenges. This makes them feel valued and encourages deeper conversation. To deepen your understanding, consider the detailed psychological principles underpinning each step of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, including self-awareness, insights from emotional intelligence and personality psychology; understanding, active listening theory and empathetic communication research. Connection, rapport-building techniques from neurolinguistic programming and social psychology. Contribution, the psychology of reciprocity and altruism. Engagement, principles of consistent reinforcement and relationship maintenance. Sustaining, trust-building models and conflict resolution strategies. Strategic leverage, social capital theory and ethical influence. Also explore real-world case studies from business, nonprofit, or social science demonstrating the tangible power and impact of each principle when applied effectively. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, a S.U.C.C.E.S.S outreach script library. This is a collection of customizable email and message templates for various scenarios designed to incorporate elements of each S.U.C.C.E.S.S step. For initial contact, a value-first template. This is for reaching out to someone new, focusing on offering value or insight. For post-meeting follow-up, a personalized template. This is for a follow-up email that references specific conversation points and next steps. For re-engagement with a dormant contact, this is for reconnecting with someone you haven't spoken to in a while with a genuine, non-demanding approach. For requesting a meeting or call, a clear and concise template. This is for politely and clearly requesting a brief interaction, respecting their time. Chapter 5, Proof in Action, Real-World Transformations from Connection to Triumph. Magnetic title, From Isolation to Impact, Unforgettable Stories of Influence Unleashed. Hook. The S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework is powerful in theory, but its true magic lies in application. Prepare to be inspired by vivid, human stories of individuals who transformed their lives by mastering the art of authentic connection. Transformational core content. This chapter brings the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to life through compelling, real-world case studies and vivid success stories. We will showcase individuals from diverse backgrounds and industries, an aspiring artist who landed her dream gallery show, a mid-career professional who pivoted industries, a community leader who revitalized a local initiative, a remote worker who built a thriving virtual team, each demonstrating how they applied specific elements of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to achieve remarkable results. These aren't just anecdotes. They are deeply human narratives, complete with initial struggles, pivotal moments, and the step-by-step application of the principles. We will provide detailed insights, allowing you to hear directly from these success architects in their own words. Each story will highlight specific challenges overcome, such as shyness, lack of opportunity, or digital fatigue, and the direct correlation between applying the S.U.C.C.E.S.S principles and achieving tangible outcomes. The purpose is not just inspiration but concrete illustration, showing how the abstract concepts translate into practical, life-changing action. We will dissect their before and after states, emphasizing the transformation in their social capital, professional trajectory, and personal fulfillment. This chapter will also explore the ripple effect, how one person's commitment to authentic connection can positively influence their team, community, and even broader society. The stories will be emotionally resonant, showcasing vulnerability and triumph, proving that the principles are not just for the naturally charismatic, but for anyone committed to learning and applying them. Let's explore some case studies. Extended Case Study 1, The Network Nomad, How Sarah Built a Global Brand from Her Living Room. Sarah, a freelance graphic designer, initially struggled to find consistent, high-paying clients, feeling isolated in her home office. Her network was limited to past colleagues and local friends. The challenge was breaking into a global market and attracting high-profile clients without a traditional office presence, overcoming the perception of being just a freelancer. Here's how she applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework. Self-awareness. Sarah redefined her signature value as a visual storyteller for mission-driven brands, not just a designer. Understanding. She deeply researched potential clients, understanding their brand narratives, challenges, and aspirations. Connection. She used LinkedIn and industry forums to engage authentically, commenting thoughtfully on articles, not just liking. Contribution. She offered free design critiques or shared valuable resources related to branding without asking for anything in return. Engagement. She maintained consistent, personalized follow-ups, active participation in relevant online communities, and strategic outreach to thought leaders. Sustaining. She regularly checked in with past clients, offering ongoing support and remembering personal details. Strategic leverage. She asked for strategic introductions to complementary businesses, such as copywriters or web developers, leading to collaborative projects. The results? Sarah landed clients in 5 different countries, increased her rates by 300%, became a sought-after speaker on remote branding, and built a thriving virtual team. Her story includes specific email exchanges, LinkedIn message examples, and her personal reflections on applying each S.U.C.C.E.S.S step and the emotional journey involved. Extended case study 2, From Office Drone to Community Dynamo, Mark's Journey to Local Impact. Mark, a middle manager in a large corporation, felt unfulfilled despite his stable career. He longed for more meaning and connection in his local community but felt socially awkward and unsure how to get involved. His challenge was overcoming personal inertia, finding meaningful community involvement, building trust with local leaders, and mobilizing volunteers for a struggling local charity. Here's how he applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework. Self-awareness. Mark realized his signature value was his organizational skills and ability to bring people together. U. Understanding. He attended local meetings, listened intently to community needs, and identified a charity struggling with volunteer recruitment. C. Connection. He started by offering simple help, showing up consistently, and building rapport with existing volunteers. C. Contribution. He volunteered to organize a small fundraising event, leveraging his professional project management skills. E. Engagement. He used his corporate network to find sponsors, and his personal network to recruit volunteers, consistently communicating updates. S. Sustaining. He remained committed to the charity, taking on a board role, and nurturing relationships with key stakeholders. S. Strategic leverage. He connected the charity with local businesses and media, multiplying its reach and impact. The results? Mark revitalized the local charity, significantly increased its volunteer base and funding, became a respected community leader, and found profound personal fulfillment. His story highlights his initial fears, the specific conversations that opened doors, and his step-by-step process for applying the framework to achieve social impact. Extended case study 3, The Quiet Achiever Who Broke Through, Elena's Career Ascent. Elena, an exceptionally talented but intensely introverted researcher in a competitive tech company, consistently felt overlooked for promotions and leadership roles despite her brilliant work. She struggled with self-promotion and networking. Her challenge was gaining visibility, attracting mentorship, overcoming her natural shyness in professional settings, and advocating for her own career progression. Here's how she applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework. Self-awareness. Elena recognized her signature value was her deep analytical insight and ability to solve complex problems. U. Understanding. She identified key decision-makers and mentors, understanding their strategic priorities and challenges. C. Connection. She started by sending personalized emails offering specific insights related to their work, rather than asking for meetings. C. Contribution. She proactively shared research findings that addressed specific company problems, providing value before seeking attention. E. Engagement. She consistently followed up with valuable information, engaged thoughtfully in internal communication channels, and sought out one-on-one coffee chats. S. Sustaining. She built trust through consistent high-quality work and reliable follow-through, leading to informal mentorship. S. Strategic leverage. Her mentors began advocating for her, leading to high-visibility projects and eventually a significant promotion. The results? Elena was promoted to a senior leadership role, became a respected internal thought leader, found a powerful mentor, and increased her confidence in professional interactions. Her story focuses on her internal shifts, the specific phrases she used in her outreach, and the practical techniques she employed to overcome her shyness and build influential relationships within her organization. Here are some success snippets. Consider the aspiring artist, a painter who used the contribution and engagement steps to connect with gallery owners by offering to help promote their existing artists, eventually leading to her own exhibition. Imagine the remote team builder, a team lead who used the understanding and sustaining steps to build deep trust and cohesion within a geographically dispersed team, leading to increased productivity and morale. Think of the mid-career pivoter, a professional who leveraged the strategic leverage step to identify and connect with key individuals in a completely new industry, successfully transitioning careers. And the student intern, a college student who applied the self-awareness and understanding steps to craft compelling outreach to secure a highly competitive internship. These aren't just stories, they are mirrors reflecting your own potential for profound connection and unstoppable impact. Chapter Introduction. The true power of any blueprint lies in its execution. In this chapter, we step into the lives of real people who, armed with the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, transformed their social and professional worlds from isolation to triumph. Chapter Summary. Chapter 5 presented compelling case studies, bringing the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to life through real-world transformations. We saw how individuals from diverse backgrounds applied the principles to overcome challenges and achieve significant social, professional, and community impact, proving the framework's practical power. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Personal Success Story Blueprint. This structured template helps you outline a current challenge or goal you face and brainstorm how you would apply the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to overcome it, directly inspired by the examples in this chapter. It includes sections for My Current Challenge/Goal, describe it in detail. Inspired by, which case study resonated most? Applying S.U.C.C.E.S.S, My Plan. For self-awareness, what unique value will I bring? For understanding, whose needs do I need to understand? What questions will I ask? For connection, how will I build initial rapport? For contribution, what value can I offer first? For engagement, how will I sustain interaction? For sustaining, how will I deepen this relationship over time? For strategic leverage, how will this connection help me achieve my goal and potentially help others? And finally, your first 3 action steps. Specific, measurable actions. Now, some reflection questions. Which success story resonated most deeply with you and why? What specific aspect of their journey did you find most inspiring or relatable? Review one of the detailed case studies. What specific S.U.C.C.E.S.S step did you see most prominently demonstrated in their breakthrough moment? How did that step directly lead to their success? How could you adapt a key strategy or mindset from one of the success stories to a current challenge or goal in your own life? Be specific about the adaptation. For a journal prompt, consider this. Imagine yourself 12 months from now, having achieved a significant connection-driven goal, such as a new job, a successful project, or a stronger personal network. Write your own success story detailing the process, specifically highlighting how you applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to reach your outcome. Here's a practical tip: reverse engineering success. When studying any success story from this book or elsewhere, don't just admire the outcome. Actively work backward to identify the specific actions taken, the mindset shifts, and then map those back to the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework steps to understand the underlying mechanics. For an influence hack, try the what if prompt. For each success story, ask yourself, what if they hadn't applied specific S.U.C.C.E.S.S step? This mental exercise helps to highlight the critical impact of their actions and reinforces the necessity of each framework component. To deepen your understanding, consider citations from studies on the power of narrative and observational learning in behavior change, explaining why case studies are so effective for inspiration and instruction. Also, insights from biographical research and interviews with successful individuals, or composites based on extensive research, provide rich detail and authentic voice to the narratives, ensuring they feel real and relatable. Chapter 6. The Daily Edge. Tactical Habits for Effortless Connection and Influence. Magnetic title, Micro Habits, Macro Impact. Your daily toolkit for social mastery. Hook. Grand strategies are vital, but true social mastery is built in the small, consistent actions you take every day. This chapter unveils the tactical habits and routines that will make effortless connection and influence your natural state. Transformational core content. Mastering networking and social success isn't about grand gestures. It's about embedding powerful, repeatable habits into your daily routine. This chapter provides a comprehensive toolkit of micro-habits, small, actionable steps that, when consistently applied, create exponential shifts in your ability to connect and influence. We will cover a range of tactical tools, from optimizing your digital footprint to mastering in-person nuances. Let's elaborate on key daily edge tactics. Key daily edge tactics. Optimizing your digital footprint. The connection magnet profile. Concept. Your online profiles, such as LinkedIn and professional social media, are your 24/7 networking assistants. They must be designed to attract, inform, and invite connection, not just list credentials. Tactics. Use strategic keywords. Infuse your profile with terms people search for, like networking, social success, influence, communication, or relationships. Craft a compelling headline. Beyond your job title, articulate your signature value and what problems you solve. Create an engaging about section, tell a story, not just a resume summary. Highlight passions, values, and unique experiences. Follow the value share rule for posting. Every post should aim to educate, inspire, or entertain, providing value to your network. Optimize visuals. Use a professional headshot and a relevant banner image. Engage actively, respond to comments, and engage with others' content. For example, a compelling LinkedIn headline like, "Empowering leaders to build unstoppable teams through authentic communication," attracts specific connections. The proactive outreach power hour. Concept: dedicate a short, focused block of time daily or weekly to intentional outreach. Consistency is key here. Tactics: use time blocking, schedule 15 to 30 minutes specifically for connection activities. Create targeted lists, identify 1 to 3 people you want to connect with or reconnect with. Send personalized messages. Craft unique messages referencing shared interests, recent achievements, or specific value you can offer. Make strategic introductions. Identify opportunities to connect 2 people in your network who could benefit from knowing each other. Reconnect with dormant contacts. Send a simple, non-demanding checking-in message. For example, set a reminder to send 1 personalized LinkedIn message and 1 re-engagement email every Tuesday morning. Mastering the art of the micro-engagement. Concept: small, consistent, meaningful interactions in digital spaces that build rapport and keep you top of mind without requiring a huge time commitment. Tactics: leave insightful comments. Go beyond "great post" to add genuine value or ask a thoughtful question. Share relevant articles. Tag someone who might find it useful. Acknowledge milestones. Congratulate someone on a promotion, work anniversary, or personal achievement. Respond to others' stories. Show genuine interest in their updates. Use the value-add reply instead of just agreeing. Add a unique perspective or related resource. For example, leave a 2-sentence comment on a LinkedIn post that references a specific point and adds a relevant thought. The conversation catalyst arsenal. Concept: a collection of open-ended questions, active listening techniques, and empathy statements to spark deeper, more meaningful conversations in any setting. Tactics: use beyond small talk questions. Examples include, "What's been the most interesting challenge you've tackled recently?" or "What are you most excited about learning next?" Employ the curiosity funnel. Start broad and drill down with follow-up questions. Use empathetic statements. Phrases like, "That sounds challenging," or "I can imagine how that feels," to validate emotions. Find anchor points. Identify a shared interest or experience early on and return to it. Use the story prompt. Ask people to tell you a story about a specific experience. For example, instead of, "How are you?" try, "What's one thing that's really captured your attention this week?" The follow-up framework. Concept: moving beyond the generic, "Nice to meet you" email to segmented, value-driven follow-up strategies that keep connections warm and move relationships forward. Tactics: ensure timeliness. Follow up within 24 to 48 hours. Personalize. Reference specific points from your conversation. Be value-driven. Offer something such as a resource, an introduction, or an idea that relates to your discussion. Suggest clear next steps if applicable. Suggest a low-friction next interaction. Use segmented follow-ups. Have different approaches for different levels of connection, such as a new acquaintance versus a potential collaborator. Use the check-in, not check-up. Send messages that genuinely offer value, not just demand attention. For example, "It was great chatting about topic X at event Y. I remembered you mentioned challenge Z and thought this article on solution might be helpful. Let me know if it resonates." Presence and polarity techniques. Concept: tactical tips for in-person interactions that enhance your presence, make you more memorable, and create a positive social polarity. Tactics: use open body language, uncrossed arms, facing the person, relaxed posture. Maintain confident eye contact. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then break naturally. Practice vocal modulation, vary pitch, tone, and pace to convey engagement and interest. Leverage the power of the smile, make it genuine, warm, and appropriate. Use active listening cues, nod, say, and lean in slightly. Cultivate confident stillness, avoid fidgeting, projecting calm. Play the name game. Use techniques for remembering names, such as repeating it or associating it. For example, consciously relax your shoulders and uncross your arms before entering a networking event. The gratitude and generosity ritual. Concept: daily practices of acknowledging and expressing gratitude for connections and proactively seeking opportunities to offer help or value without expectation. This reinforces an abundance mindset. Tactics: practice daily gratitude. Mentally or physically list 3 people you're grateful for and why. Perform the 5-minute favor. Look for opportunities to offer a small favor or valuable insight that takes less than 5 minutes. Make proactive introductions. Connect 2 people who could mutually benefit. Give public acknowledgement. Give credit where credit is due, online or offline. Send thank you notes, digital or physical. Use personalized expressions of appreciation. For example, send a quick email to a colleague thanking them for a specific piece of advice they gave last week. Building a personal connection CRM. Concept: simple systems, digital or analog, for organizing your network, tracking interactions, and remembering key details for personalized follow-up. This moves you from reactive to proactive relationship management. Tactics: use digital tools, a simple spreadsheet, a CRM app, or even a dedicated contact manager. Use an analog system, a small notebook or index cards. Track key information: name, contact info, last interaction date, key topics discussed, personal details, and follow-up reminders. Include the next action field. What's the next step for this relationship? Perform regular review. Schedule time to review your CRM and plan next interactions. For example, after a meeting, immediately add a new contact to your CRM with notes about their kids' names or their favorite sports team. Consider the story of James, a business development professional who transformed his lead generation and industry recognition by implementing a rigorous daily routine of LinkedIn micro-engagements. His story details his specific power session, a 30-minute block where he strategically comments on posts, shares relevant articles, and sends personalized messages, resulting in a significant increase in qualified leads and invitations to speak at industry events. His typical engagement patterns and the rationale behind each microhabit demonstrate the power of consistency. Think of the metaphor of compounding interest in relationships. Daily microhabits in connection are like compounding interest in finance. Each small deposit of effort, such as a thoughtful comment, a personalized follow-up, or a genuine question, may seem insignificant on its own, but over time, these consistent actions accumulate and multiply, leading to exponential growth in social capital, trust, and influence. Consistency, not intensity, is the key to long-term relationship wealth. Research findings on habit formation and the psychological power of small wins, from works like James Clear's Atomic Habits or B.J. Fogg's Tiny Habits, quantify how consistent, minor efforts can lead to significant, long-term behavioral changes and results in the context of social mastery. Imagine a short, compelling story about how a single, well-timed, personalized follow-up email sent as part of a consistent daily habit led to a major career breakthrough. For instance, a job seeker, after a general networking event, sent a specific, personalized follow-up email referencing a niche topic discussed, which directly led to a second interview and eventually a dream job, highlighting the power of attention to detail and consistency. Your daily dedication to microhabits is the hidden engine of your extraordinary social success. Chapter Introduction. Strategy is the map, but daily habits are the footsteps. This chapter reveals the tactical tools, routines, and microhabits that will make effortless connection and lasting influence your default setting. Chapter Summary. Chapter 6 provided a comprehensive toolkit of microhabits for daily connection and influence. We covered optimizing digital footprints, proactive outreach, micro-engagements, conversation catalysts, follow-up frameworks, presence techniques, gratitude rituals, and building a personal CRM, all designed for sustainable, effortless social mastery. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Daily Edge Planner. This weekly checklist helps you integrate 3 to 5 new microhabits into your daily or weekly routine. For each day, you can check off habits like sent 1 personalized outreach message, left 2 insightful comments on social media, practiced active listening in 1 conversation, updated 2 contacts in my CRM, or identified 1 opportunity to give value. This helps build consistency and track progress. Now, some reflection questions. Which microhabit from this chapter feels most immediately implementable for you and why? What's the smallest possible version of this habit you could start with today? How could you stack a new connection habit with an existing daily routine? For example, I'll check LinkedIn for 15 minutes while drinking my morning coffee, or I'll send one thank you note during my lunch break. For a journal prompt, consider this: imagine your ideal social mastery morning routine 1 month from now. What specific actions are you consistently taking to build and nurture connections, and how do these actions make you feel? Here's a practical tip: the 5-minute favor. Actively scan your network, or even your daily interactions, for opportunities to offer a small favor or valuable insight that takes you less than 5 minutes to provide. This could be sharing a link, making a quick introduction, or offering a brief piece of advice. For an influence hack, try the remember this note. Immediately after a conversation, especially with a new contact, take 30 seconds to jot down 1 to 2 unique, non-obvious details about the person, such as a specific hobby, a recent challenge they mentioned, a favorite book, or family detail. Store this in your personal connection CRM for future, personalized follow-up. To deepen your understanding, consider behavioral psychology principles behind successful habit formation, including the cue routine reward loop, the importance of environment design, and the concept of habit stacking. Also, explore case studies of individuals or organizations who have successfully implemented daily routines for productivity, personal growth, or relationship building, illustrating the power of consistency. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, follow-up email templates for various scenarios. This is a collection of customizable, scripted examples for different follow-up situations, emphasizing value and personalization. For post-meeting/event follow-up. Great meeting you at event/meeting name. I really enjoyed our conversation about specific topic. I remembered you mentioned challenge/interest and thought this resource/idea might be helpful. Let's connect again soon. For a value-add check-in, hi, name, I was just thinking about topic you discussed/their recent work and wanted to share relevant article, insight, connection. Hope you're doing well. For re-engagement with a dormant contact, hi, name, it's been a while. I was just reason for thinking of them, e.g., saw your recent post, remembered our conversation about X, and wanted to say hello. No pressure, just wanted to reconnect. Second, a conversation starters and deepeners cheat sheet. This is a handy, printable list of versatile open-ended questions and phrases to keep conversations flowing and meaningful, categorized for different contexts, such as initial meetings, deeper discussions, or virtual interactions. Chapter 7, Navigating the Pitfalls, Avoiding Common Traps on Your Influence Journey. Magnetic title, The Influence Illusion, How to Spot and Sidestep the 7 Biggest Networking Traps. Hook. The path to powerful connections is fraught with hidden dangers, from transactional mindsets to digital burnout. This chapter shines a light on the most common pitfalls, equipping you with the wisdom to avoid them and sustain your influence. Transformational core content. Even with the best intentions and the most robust framework, the journey to influence is not without its traps. This chapter provides a critical hazard map, identifying the most common pitfalls that derail genuine connection and lead to burnout, disillusionment, or superficial results. We will dissect the 7 biggest networking traps and provide clear, actionable strategies for avoiding or recovering from them. Let's elaborate on the 7 biggest networking traps. The 7 biggest networking traps. The transactional trap. Problem: treating networking as a purely quid pro quo exchange, where you only connect or offer help when you expect an immediate return. This leads to perceived insincerity, short-lived connections, and a feeling of being used. This can result in a damaged reputation, a lack of trust, a superficial network, and emotional exhaustion. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Embrace the abundance mindset. Believe there's enough success and opportunity for everyone, fostering collaboration over competition. Led with generosity. Always seek to offer value first, without expectation of immediate reciprocation. Focus on long-term relationship building. Understand that true value accrues over time through consistent giving. Use the authenticity check question. Before any interaction, ask, am I approaching this with genuine interest or primarily for personal gain? For example, instead of asking for a favor immediately, offer to connect them with someone useful, purely out of goodwill. The digital overload and burnout trap. Problem: over-reliance on digital interactions, such as emails, social media DMs, and virtual meetings, can lead to screen fatigue, superficial relationships, neglecting crucial in-person connection, and a constant feeling of being on. This can result in mental fatigue, reduced empathy, social awkwardness in real life, neglected personal relationships, and burnout. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Implement digital hygiene practices. Set strict boundaries for screen time and designate no phone zones, such as during meals or before bed. Engage in intentional offline engagement. Proactively schedule in-person coffee chats, walks, or social gatherings. Try the Digital Fast Challenge. Periodically take a complete break from specific digital platforms to recalibrate your focus and energy. Prioritize deep work. Use digital tools for efficiency, but protect time for focused, uninterrupted work and real-world interactions. For example, schedule a weekly, offline hour where you intentionally engage in a non-digital activity or face-to-face conversation. The spray and pray trap. Problem: sending mass outreach messages, generic connection requests, or untargeted content without personalization or genuine research. This is the digital equivalent of throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what sticks. This can result in low engagement rates, being marked as spam, a damaged reputation, and wasted time and effort. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Practice precision targeting. Research individuals or groups thoroughly before initiating contact. Use hyperpersonalization. Reference specific details from their work, recent posts, or shared connections. Prioritize quality over quantity. Focus on making fewer but more meaningful connections. Follow the relevant value rule. Ensure your message is genuinely relevant and offers value to the recipient. A/B test your outreach. Experiment with different approaches to see what resonates. For example, instead of a generic LinkedIn request, reference a specific article they wrote or a project they completed. The comparison trap. Problem: measuring your social success, influence, or career trajectory against others' seemingly perfect online personas or highlight reels. This leads to self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and a feeling of inadequacy. This can result in reduced self-esteem, anxiety, paralysis by analysis, and an inability to celebrate your own progress. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Focus on your own journey. Your path is unique. Compare yourself only to your past self. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Everyone has struggles they don't broadcast. Curate your feed. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison. Follow those that inspire authenticity. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your own progress, no matter how small. Use the reality check. Filter. Remind yourself that social media is often a curated fantasy. For example, when you feel comparison creeping in, take a moment to list 3 recent accomplishments or genuine connections you've made. The neglect trap. Problem: failing to nurture existing connections after the initial interaction, leading to dormant networks, missed opportunities, and the slow decay of valuable relationships. This can result in lost opportunities, feeling isolated despite having a large network, and having to start over with old contacts. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Implement a relationship nurturing calendar. Use a system for regular, personalized check-ins with key contacts. Provide consistent value adds. Periodically share relevant resources, insights, or make introductions. Remember key details. Use your CRM to track personal details for personalized follow-up. Use the ping strategy. Send a simple, non-demanding message to keep the connection warm. Prioritize existing relationships. Dedicate time to those you already know. For example, set a reminder to send a quick, thinking of you, message to 5 key contacts once a month. The gimmick trap. Problem: relying on superficial, hacks, manipulative tactics, or inauthentic strategies, such as forced compliments, fake enthusiasm, or overly aggressive self-promotion, instead of building genuine trust and rapport. This can result in perceived insincerity, loss of trust, short-term gains followed by long-term damage to reputation. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Reiterate authenticity. Always lead with your genuine self and intentions. Focus on value and reciprocity. Build relationships on mutual benefit, not manipulation. Perform the integrity test. Ask yourself, would I be proud to explain my approach to anyone? Maintain a long-term vision. Understand that sustainable influence comes from trust, not tricks. Learn from ethical influencers. Study those who build influence through integrity. For example, instead of a canned compliment, offer specific, genuine praise about a piece of their work. The fear of failure/rejection spiral. Problem: allowing past negative experiences such as ghosting, awkward conversations, or unanswered emails to paralyze future action, leading to a cycle of inaction and missed opportunities. This can result in stagnation, unfulfilled potential, increased social anxiety, and self-sabotage. Strategies for avoiding/recovering. Use advanced resilience techniques. Apply cognitive behavioral therapy principles for challenging negative thoughts. Revisit the rejection therapy philosophy. Actively seek small rejections to build immunity. Focus on learning, not blame. Every failure is data for improvement. Prioritize process over outcome. Celebrate the courage to act, regardless of the immediate result. Build a success log. Keep a record of your successful connections and positive interactions to counteract negative bias. For example, after an unanswered email, instead of dwelling, immediately send a new, different message to someone else, focusing on the next attempt. Consider the story of Chloe, a consultant who candidly describes how she fell into the digital overload and burnout trap. Her story details her initial belief that more digital connections equaled more success, leading to endless scrolling, superficial interactions, and eventually severe mental and physical exhaustion. Her turning point was when she implemented strict digital boundaries, diversified her connection strategies to include more in-person interactions, and rediscovered the joy of genuine, focused engagement. Her personal diary entries reflecting the depths of her burnout and her gradual recovery process highlight this transformation. Think of the metaphor of navigating the social sea. The networking journey is like sailing across a vast and sometimes treacherous ocean. The pitfalls, such as transactional thinking, digital overload, and comparison, are depicted as hidden reefs, strong currents, or unexpected storms that can capsize your efforts. Successful navigation requires not just a good map, like the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, but also constant vigilance, strategic adjustments, and the wisdom to recognize and avoid these dangers, ensuring a smooth and sustainable voyage towards influence. Recent data on the prevalence of digital burnout among professionals, the psychological impact of social media comparison on mental health, such as increased anxiety and depression, and the tangible costs of transactional networking in terms of lost trust and missed long-term opportunities, provide a quantitative basis for understanding these traps. Imagine a short, compelling story about someone who successfully avoided a transactional relationship by consciously focusing on genuine value giving, even when it seemed counterintuitive. The anecdote might describe a scenario where, instead of pitching a service, the individual offered a free, valuable insight, which ultimately led to a more profound and lucrative long-term partnership built on trust, demonstrating the power of an authentic, non-transactional approach. Forewarned is forearmed. Identify the traps, sidestep them, and safeguard your authentic influence. Chapter Introduction. The journey to profound influence is rewarding, but not without its hazards. This chapter equips you with a hazard map, exposing the most common pitfalls, from transactional thinking to digital burnout, and arming you with the strategies to avoid them. Chapter Summary. Chapter 7 exposed the 7 biggest networking traps: transactional thinking, digital overload, spray and pray, comparison, neglect, gimmicks, and fear of rejection. For each trap, we provided diagnostic tools, preventative measures, and recovery strategies, emphasizing foresight, resilience, and ethical influence. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, my trap assessment and recovery plan. This detailed template helps you identify susceptibility. For each of the 7 traps, rate your personal susceptibility on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being highly susceptible. Reflect on past experiences. Describe a time you fell into one of these traps and its consequences. Outline a prevention strategy. Outline 1 to 3 specific actions you will take to prevent falling into your most susceptible traps in the future. Create a recovery plan. If you find yourself in a trap, what immediate steps will you take to course correct? Now, some reflection questions. Which of the 7 traps have you personally encountered most frequently in your efforts to connect? How did it impact your efforts, and what was the emotional cost? What's one small, immediate change you can make today to actively avoid a trap you're currently susceptible to? For example, I will turn off notifications for X app for 1 hour. For a journal prompt, consider this. Describe a time when you felt, used, or when you inadvertently engaged in transactional networking. What were the subtle cues that indicated this? What did you learn from that experience about your own boundaries and approach to connection? Here's a practical tip. The authenticity check question. Before sending any outreach message, making a connection request, or engaging in a conversation, pause and ask yourself, am I approaching this with genuine interest in the other person, or is my primary motivation self-serving? If it's the latter, reevaluate and adjust your approach. For an influence hack, try the time block for real life. Actively schedule specific time blocks in your calendar for in-person interactions, phone calls, or deeply focused work away from all digital distractions. Treat these blocks with the same importance as any other professional appointment. To deepen your understanding, consider studies on the psychology of trust, manipulation, and ethical communication, particularly in digital contexts. Also explore extensive research on digital well-being, managing screen time, and the neurological impacts of constant digital stimulation. Finally, behavioral economics insights on reciprocity and the long-term benefits of non-transactional giving. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, a digital detox checklist. This is a step-by-step guide to a temporary digital break for mental and social recalibration. It includes suggestions for notifying contacts of your break, setting autoresponders, identifying alternative activities, planning your reentry. Second, a relationship re-engagement script. This is a customizable template for reaching out to dormant connections with genuine intent and value, avoiding the I need something vibe. The subject could be thinking of you plus shared interest/previous conversation topic. The body could be hi, name, I was just reason for thinking of them, e.g., saw your recent article, remembered our chat about X, and wanted to say hello. Hope things are going well with specific project/area of their life you remember. No pressure to respond, just wanted to reconnect. Chapter 8, Momentum and Mastery, Sustaining Your Influence and Deepening Relationships. Magnetic title, Beyond the First Hello, Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds and Exponential Influence. Hook. Winning friends is a start, but true mastery lies in sustaining relationships and multiplying your influence over time. This chapter reveals the advanced strategies for nurturing deep bonds and creating a self-perpetuating cycle of connection. Transformational core content. The initial thrill of new connections can fade, and without intentional effort, even promising relationships can wither. This chapter moves beyond foundational skills to the advanced art of relationship ecosystem management, focusing on how to sustain momentum, deepen existing relationships, and strategically expand your long-term influence. We'll introduce the concept of the relationship spectrum, from acquaintances to allies, mentors, and advocates, and provide techniques for intentionally moving connections along this spectrum. Let's elaborate on key strategies for momentum and mastery. Key strategies for momentum and mastery. The 3 rupees of relationship maintenance: regularity, relevancy, and reciprocity. Concept. This is the bedrock of sustained relationships. It's about consistent, valuable, and balanced engagement. Deep dive. Regularity, consistent, scheduled check-ins, such as quarterly or biannually, tailored to the relationship's depth. Relevancy, ensuring your communication is always pertinent to their interests, challenges, or aspirations. Avoid generic messages. Reciprocity, a balanced give and take over time. It's not about immediate repayment, but a mutual willingness to support. Avoid out of sight, out of mind, engage proactively to stay top of mind. Revisit the relationship nurturing calendar. This is a system for tracking and scheduling these interactions. For example, send a relevant industry report to a contact because you know they're working on a related project, followed by a brief check-in a few weeks later. The power of the follow-through. Concept. Delivering on promises, remembering details, and consistently showing up in meaningful ways. This builds immense trust and reliability. Deep dive. Honor commitments. If you say you'll do something, do it. Remember details. The remember this note from Chapter 6 becomes crucial here. Remember birthdays, family details, and specific challenges. Practice proactive problem solving, anticipate needs, and offer solutions before being asked. Cultivate reliability as a core trait. Be someone others can consistently count on. Understand the cost of broken promises. Even small failures to follow through erode trust. For example, after promising to send an article, send it within the hour, adding a personalized note about why it's relevant. Strategic storytelling for deeper bonds. Concept. Beyond initial rapport, learn to share personal narratives that build trust, vulnerability, and mutual understanding, moving beyond facts to shared human experience. Deep dive. Understand the elements of a compelling story: character, conflict, resolution, and lesson learned. Practice appropriate vulnerability. Share personal challenges or triumphs that reveal your humanity and build empathy. Tell stories of shared values, narratives that illustrate your core beliefs and connect with theirs. Explain the why behind your work, life. Tell stories that explain your motivations and passions. Listen for their stories. Create space for them to share their narratives. For example, share a brief story about a personal struggle you overcame and how it shaped your perspective on a shared professional challenge. Conflict as connection. Concept: how to navigate disagreements, misunderstandings, and difficult conversations not as threats, but as opportunities to strengthen relationships and build deeper trust. Deep dive. Apply the assume good intent principle. Approach conflict with the belief that the other person isn't trying to harm you. Practice empathetic communication during conflict. Listen to understand, not to respond. Focus on the issue, not the person. Separate the problem from the individual. Use I statements. Express your feelings and needs without blame. Seek mutual understanding. The goal is resolution and stronger connection, not winning. Repair ruptures. Use techniques for apologizing, forgiving, and rebuilding trust after conflict. For example, instead of saying you always do X, try when X happens, I feel Y because Z. The advocate archetype. Concept: moving beyond individual connections to becoming a connector of others, creating value across your network, and organically building a reputation as a trusted resource and central hub. Deep dive. Identify synergies. Who in your network could benefit from knowing each other? Make thoughtful introductions. Follow the double opt-in rule, providing context for both parties. Promote others' success. Share their wins. Recommend their work. Be a resource. Proactively share valuable information or opportunities. Cultivate the connector's mindset. Always look for ways to add value by connecting people. For example, introduce a colleague looking for a new role to a contact who works in a relevant industry, with a personalized note explaining the mutual benefit. Mentorship and sponsorship mechanics. Concept: how to identify, cultivate, and engage with mentors and sponsors, and conversely, how to effectively mentor and uplift others, creating a powerful cycle of knowledge transfer and support. Deep dive. Define mentor versus sponsor. Mentors advise, sponsors advocate and open doors. Identify potential mentors/sponsors. Who possesses the knowledge or influence you need? Use the value-first approach to seeking mentorship. Approach potential mentors by offering value first. Be a great mentee. Practice preparedness, follow-through, and showing appreciation. Master the art of sponsorship. Identify and advocate for rising talent in your network. Consider reverse mentorship. Learn from those younger or less experienced. For example, prepare specific questions and offer to share your own insights on a topic when seeking mentorship. The art of the ask and the give back. Concept: learning to confidently and gracefully ask for support when needed, while always looking for opportunities to give disproportionately, maintaining the balance of reciprocity over the long term. Deep dive. Be clear in your ask. Be specific about what you need. Respect their time/resources. Make it easy for them to say yes or no. Explain the why behind your ask. Explain your motivation. Offer a give back. What can you offer in return, even if it's not immediate? Understand the psychology of reciprocity. People are more likely to help if they've received value. Recognize asking as a sign of trust. It shows you value their expertise or connection. For example, I'm working on Project X and could really use your insights on specific area. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute call next week? I'd be happy to share my learnings on related topic in return. Leveraging your network for collective impact. Concept: moving from individual goals to collaborative ventures, strategic partnerships, and community building, multiplying your influence through synergy and shared purpose. Deep dive. Identify shared goals. What collective problems can your network solve? Build collaborative teams. Bring together diverse skill sets from your network. Form strategic partnerships. Formalize collaborations for larger projects. Engage in community building. Use your network to foster a sense of belonging and mutual support. Leverage the power of collective intelligence. Tap into the combined wisdom of your network. Lead through connection. Guide initiatives by empowering others. For example, use your network to organize a local charity drive, connecting different community groups for a common cause. Consider the story of Sophia, a nonprofit leader who transformed her organization's reach and funding by meticulously cultivating a network of powerful advocates. She moved key contacts from casual acquaintances to deeply invested allies by consistently applying the 3 rupees: regularity, relevancy, and reciprocity, and mastering strategic storytelling for deeper bonds. Her specific examples of personalized check-ins, how she identified and shared relevant insights with her network, and how her genuine reciprocity led to unexpected opportunities and significant donations, demonstrate her long-term relationship nurturing tactics. Think of the metaphor of the social tapestry. Your network is not just a list of contacts, but a rich, intricate tapestry. Each thread represents a connection, and mastery involves the deliberate, artistic weaving of these threads together into a strong, beautiful, and resilient whole. A strong tapestry is not just about individual threads but how they interlock, support each other, and create a larger, more meaningful design, highlighting the beauty and strength that come from diverse, interconnected relationships. Sociological research on social capital, trust building, and the long-term career benefits of mentorship and sponsorship quantifies how strong social support networks impact well-being, longevity, and professional advancement, underscoring the compounding value of sustained relationship investment. Imagine a short, compelling story detailing how a difficult conversation, handled with grace and empathy, transformed a strained professional relationship into a more profound and productive one. The anecdote might describe a disagreement over a project that, instead of leading to a rift, became an opportunity for deeper understanding and mutual respect, demonstrating the conflict as connection, principle, and action. Your greatest influence isn't built on a single interaction, but on the enduring strength of the relationships you meticulously cultivate. Chapter Introduction. Initial connections are just the beginning. This chapter elevates your social mastery, teaching you how to sustain momentum, deepen existing relationships, and unlock exponential influence that lasts a lifetime. Chapter Summary. Chapter 8 delved into advanced strategies for relationship ecosystem management, focusing on sustaining momentum and deepening influence. We introduced the 3 rupees of relationship maintenance: the power of follow-through, strategic storytelling, conflict as connection, becoming an advocate, mentorship mechanics, and leveraging networks for collective impact. Ensuring long-term relationship vitality. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Relationship Spectrum Audit. This detailed template helps you categorize your existing connections and plan intentional actions. Create a connection list. List 10 to 15 key people in your network. Determine current spectrum level. For each, mark if they are an acquaintance, colleague, friend, mentor, or advocate. Identify desired next step. For 3 to 5 key relationships, identify how you like to move them along the spectrum. Create an action plan. Outline 1 to 2 specific actions, using S.U.C.C.E.S.S principles for each desired next step. Now, some reflection questions. Think of a key relationship in your life that has deepened significantly over time. What specific actions or shared experiences contributed most to its strength and resilience? How can you immediately apply the 3 rupees: regularity, relevancy, and reciprocity to your most important professional connection this week? Be specific about what you will do. For a journal prompt, consider this. Describe an ideal scenario where you leverage your network for collective impact. What specific goal are you achieving together, and what roles do different people in your network play in making it happen? Here's a practical tip: the value check-in call. Instead of a generic checking in call, schedule a brief call where your primary goal is to offer a specific piece of value or ask an insightful question that shows you've been thinking about their work, challenges, or recent successes. For an influence hack, try the strategic introduction request. When asking someone for an introduction, make it incredibly easy for them. Provide a pre-written, personalized email that they can simply forward, clearly stating who you are, why you want to connect, and the mutual benefit for all parties. To deepen your understanding, consider sociological studies on social capital, network theory, and the dynamics of trust building in long-term relationships. Also, leadership literature and research on the critical roles of mentorship and sponsorship in career development and organizational success. Finally, psychological research on conflict resolution, empathetic communication, and the science of healthy relationships. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, a relationship nurturing calendar template. This customizable template, Either a digital spreadsheet or printable, helps you plan regular, personalized check-ins and value adds for key connections. It includes columns for contact name, last interaction date, next planned interaction date and type, key personal details/topics, value offered, past and future, relationship goal. Second, a strategic introduction request script. This fill-in-the-blank script helps you politely and effectively ask someone for an introduction, maximizing their willingness and effectiveness. The subject could be, quick intro request, your name, to target name. The body could be, hi, referrer's name, hope you're well. I'm hoping you might be able to help with an introduction. I'm looking to connect with target name because brief, specific reason, e.g., I admire their work on X, I have a relevant insight for Y. I believe there could be a mutual benefit as explain mutual benefit succinctly. I've drafted a quick intro note below you could forward if you're comfortable. Thanks so much for considering. Your name. You would then provide the draft intro note below the request. Chapter 9, Legacy in Motion, Your Influence as a Force for Broader Change. Magnetic title, Ripple Effect, How Personal Influence Ignites Global Impact. Hook. Your journey from isolated individual to master connector isn't just about personal gain. This chapter reveals how your amplified influence creates a powerful ripple effect, transforming communities, industries, and ultimately the world. Transformational core content. The ultimate purpose of mastering influence extends far beyond personal ambition. This chapter elevates the perspective, demonstrating how individual transformation and networking and influence ripples into broader positive change within communities, careers, and even societal structures. We will explore the concept of conscious influence, wielding your expanded social capital not for manipulation, but for meaningful impact and the greater good. Let's elaborate on key themes in legacy building through influence. Key themes in legacy building through influence. From self to system, leading through connection. Concept, how your improved ability to connect translates into building stronger teams, fostering collaborative environments, and driving organizational success. It's about influence through collaboration, not just command. Deep dive. Build cohesive teams. Use connection skills to foster psychological safety, open communication, and mutual trust within teams. Facilitate cross-functional collaboration. Break down silos by building bridges between departments and diverse teams. Influence up, down, and across. Develop strategies for building rapport and gaining buy-in at all levels of an organization. Practice servant leadership. Lead by empowering and supporting others through your network. Create a culture of connection. Let your personal habits inspire others to connect more authentically. For example, a manager who uses active listening and empathy to resolve a team conflict, leading to increased cohesion and productivity. Community catalysts becoming a hub for good. Concept, how individuals with strong networks become vital hubs for local initiatives, social causes, and collective problem solving, driving positive change at a grassroots level. Deep dive. Identify community needs. Use your network to understand local challenges and opportunities. Mobilize resources, connect people, organizations, and resources to address community issues. Build coalitions. Bring together diverse stakeholders, such as local government, nonprofits, and businesses for a common cause. Observe the superconnector in action. Study examples of individuals who are central to their community's well-being. Drive grassroots impact. See how small connected groups can drive significant local change. For example, organize a neighborhood cleanup by connecting local residents, businesses, and the city council through your network. Industry innovators and disruptors. Network intelligence. Concept, how strategic influence fosters cross-disciplinary collaboration, sparks innovation, and leads to paradigm shifts within industries. This involves the role of network intelligence in foresight and adaptation. Deep dive. Facilitate cross-pollination of ideas. Connect people from different fields to spark novel solutions. Identify emerging trends. Leverage your network for early insights into market shifts and technological advancements. Build innovation hubs. Create informal or formal groups for brainstorming and problem solving. Challenge the status quo. Use your influence to advocate for new approaches and technologies. Recognize the power of diverse networks. See how different perspectives drive creativity. For example, connect a tech expert with a healthcare professional to brainstorm innovative solutions for patient care. Mentorship multipliers, paying it forward. Concept: the exponential impact of paying it forward. How mentoring and sponsoring others creates a compounding effect of positive influence, fostering new leaders and changemakers, and building a legacy of support. Deep dive. Understand the ripple effect of mentorship. See how one mentor can impact countless careers. Distinguish formal versus informal mentorship. Both structured programs and organic guidance are valuable. Identify ments, recognize potential, and offer guidance. Implement effective mentoring strategies. Practice active listening, constructive feedback, and opening doors. Practice sponsorship as advocacy. Actively promote and advocate for those you believe in. Build a legacy tree. Visualize the impact of your mentorship on future generations. For example, a senior leader actively sponsoring a junior colleague, advocating for their promotion and connecting them with key decision makers. The power of collective action, mobilizing for change. Concept: how strong networks enable groups to advocate for change, mobilize resources, and achieve goals that would be impossible for individuals alone, such as policy change, social movements, or large-scale projects. Deep dive. Identify shared causes. What larger issues resonate with your network? Build a coalition of the willing. Rally people around a common purpose. Use strategic communication for mobilization. Craft compelling messages that inspire action. Mobilize resources. Leverage your network to gather financial, human, or intellectual resources. Sustain momentum in movements. Keep a collective engaged over time. Study examples of network-driven movements. Look at historical and contemporary examples. For example, use a professional network to lobby for industry-wide ethical standards, leading to significant policy changes. Building a personal legacy of connection. Concept: how your commitment to authentic relationship building can define your personal and professional legacy, leaving a lasting mark of collaboration, generosity, and impact, far beyond your individual achievements. Deep dive. Define your legacy. What do you want to be remembered for in terms of your relationships and impact? Use influence as a force for good. Use your power to uplift, empower, and create positive change. Consider your human footprint, the lasting impact you have on the lives of others through your connections. Go beyond material success. Measure success by the depth of your relationships and the positive change you facilitate. Inspire others. Let your example of authentic connection become a model for those around you. For example, a retired executive whose greatest legacy is the countless careers she helped launch and the collaborative culture she fostered. The Influence Ethics Compass. Concept: a critical framework for ensuring your expanded influence is used responsibly, ethically, and for the benefit of all, emphasizing transparency, empathy, and integrity. Deep dive. Practice transparency. Be open about your intentions and motivations. Apply empathy in action. Always consider the impact of your influence on others. Maintain integrity. Act in alignment with your values, even when it's difficult. Avoid manipulation. Distinguish genuine influence from coercive tactics. Embrace the win-win-win philosophy. Seek outcomes that benefit you, the other person, and the broader community. Practice accountability. Take responsibility for the outcomes of your influence. For example, when making an introduction, clearly state the benefit for all parties involved, not just your own. Consider the story of Carlos, a formerly disconnected community activist who, after mastering authentic connection, used his newfound influence skills to unite disparate community groups around a common environmental cause. His story details his initial struggles with apathy and fragmentation, and how he strategically applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework to build trust, mobilize volunteers, and engage local policymakers, leading to significant local policy changes and a thriving community initiative. His ethical influence strategy and commitment to collective good are highlighted throughout. Think of the metaphor of the echo chamber of good. This reclaims the negative connotation of echo chamber and transforms it into a powerful image of positive influence. When individuals commit to authentic connection and ethical influence, their positive acts, such as generosity, collaboration, and advocacy, create a virtuous cycle. These acts echo through their network, amplifying good intentions, inspiring others, and leading to exponential collective action and positive change, creating a powerful, self-reinforcing system of good. Sociological data on the impact of strong social networks on community resilience during crises, innovation rates in collaborative industries. And the success rates of advocacy campaigns driven by well-connected grassroots movements quantifies the broader societal benefits of individual connection mastery. Imagine a short, compelling story about a single individual who, through strategic connections and a commitment to conscious influence, brought together key stakeholders to solve a critical problem in their workplace or community. For example, an employee who identified a major inefficiency, then leveraged their internal network to connect the right people from different departments, leading to a company-wide solution that saved significant resources and improved morale. Your journey of influence is not just for you, it's a force for change, igniting ripples of positive impact that will echo far beyond your lifetime. Chapter Introduction. Your mastery of influence is a superpower, but its true impact extends far beyond your personal orbit. This chapter unveils how your amplified connections become a force for broader change, transforming communities, industries, and your legacy. Chapter Summary. Chapter 9 explored how personal influence creates a ripple effect, driving broader positive change. We discussed leading through connection, becoming community catalysts, driving industry innovation, multiplying mentorship, enabling collective action, building an ethical legacy, and using influence for the greater good. Emphasizing the profound societal impact of strong relationships. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Impact Blueprint. This detailed template helps you identify a specific area, such as your local community, a particular industry, a social cause, or your workplace, where you want to create a positive impact and brainstorm how your enhanced network can help. It includes sections for Area of Desired Impact. Provide a specific description. Current challenge/opportunity. What problem needs solving or what opportunity exists? Key stakeholders/influencers. Who in your network, or who could be in your network, is relevant? S.U.C.C.E.S.S for impact. How will you apply the framework to this goal? First 3 action steps. Specific, measurable actions to initiate impact. Now, some reflection questions. What social or professional cause are you most passionate about, even if you haven't actively engaged with it yet? How could your enhanced influence and network potentially contribute to this cause? Identify a superconnector or influential leader you admire, either personally or publicly. How do they leverage their network for broader good, and what specific actions do you observe them taking? For a journal prompt, consider this. What kind of legacy do you ultimately want to leave through your connections and influence? Describe it in vivid detail. How will people remember you? What positive changes will you have facilitated? And what ripple effects will you have set in motion? Here's a practical tip. The Connect to a Cause initiative. Make it a monthly habit to intentionally connect at least one new person from your network to a cause, nonprofit, or community initiative that they might be passionate about or where their skills could be valuable. For an influence hack, try the Introducer of Good strategy. Actively look for opportunities to introduce 2 people in your network who could mutually benefit or collaborate on a meaningful project or shared passion, even if there's no direct benefit to you. This builds your reputation as a generous and valuable connector. To deepen your understanding, consider the sociology of social movements, community organizing, and the role of network structures in collective action. Also, ethical leadership theories, principles of corporate social responsibility, and the psychology of altruism and pro-social behavior. Finally, case studies of successful social enterprises, community development projects, and industry innovations driven by collaborative networks. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, a call for collaboration template. This is a customizable template for reaching out to your network to rally support, resources, or participation for a specific cause, project, or initiative. The subject could be Opportunity to Collaborate, your project/cause name. The body could be, Hi, name, I'm reaching out because I know you're passionate about, relevant area/cause. I'm currently working on. Briefly describe your project/cause and its goal. I believe your expertise in specific skill/area or your connection to relevant network could be incredibly valuable. Would you be open to a brief chat to explore how you might contribute, or if you know others who would be interested? Thanks for considering this important work. Second, a personal legacy statement worksheet. This guided worksheet helps you articulate your desired long-term impact through your relationships and influence. Prompts include: what core values do I want my legacy to reflect? What specific problems do I want to help solve through my connections? Who are the people I want to empower or uplift? What kind of ripple effect do I want to create in my community/industry? And finally, my legacy statement in 1 to 2 sentences. Chapter 10, The Unstoppable You, Embracing a Life of Powerful Connections and Limitless Impact. Magnetic title, The Unstoppable You, Living a Life Defined by Unshakable Connections and Limitless Impact. Hook. You've journeyed from isolation to mastery, transforming your inner world and outer actions. This is not the end of a book, it's the beginning of a life redefined, where powerful connections are your birthright and limitless impact your destiny. Transformational core content. This final chapter is a powerful culmination, designed to synthesize all the core lessons of The Ultimate Guide to Winning Friends and Building Influence, and ignite your final motivation to embrace a life of powerful connections and profound impact. We will revisit the initial wake-up call and contrast it with your transformed reality, emphasizing the journey from current struggles to a compelling new existence. Let's elaborate on key elements of the final call to action. Key elements of the final call to action. Reaffirmation of core principles. We've covered the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, a comprehensive system you now possess. Remember its integrated nature. Reiterate the importance of foundational mindsets: authenticity, generosity, resilience, empathy, and intentionality as the bedrock of all successful connection. We revisited the initial pain points, like loneliness and stagnation, and saw how these principles directly address them. Remember the power of consistency. Small, consistent actions lead to exponential results. Remember that feeling of disconnection? Look how far you've come. The identity shift from learner to master connector. Concept. We're guiding you to internalize your new identity. It's not just about what you do applying techniques, but who you are, a person of influence, a catalyst for connection. Deep dive. Internalize the transformation. Move from conscious competence to unconscious competence. Reinforce self-talk. Change, I struggle with networking, to I am a master connector. Embrace the role. See yourself as a hub, an advocate, a builder of bridges. Understand the power of self-belief, how confidence in your ability amplifies your actual ability. Live the principles. Integrate S.U.C.C.E.S.S into your natural way of being. Overcome imposter syndrome. Address any lingering doubts about your new identity. Now declare your new identity. Say it aloud. I am a master of authentic connection and influence. Sustaining the journey. Mastery as a continuous process. Concept. Mastery is a continuous journey, not a destination. We encourage ongoing learning, self-reflection, and adaptation in an ever-evolving digital and social landscape. Deep dive. Revisit the growth mindset. Always seek to learn and improve. Practice regular self-assessment. Periodically review your CQ and S.U.C.C.E.S.S application. Adapt to change. Learn how to navigate new technologies, social norms, and personal life changes. Seek feedback. Actively ask trusted connections for honest input. Learn from setbacks. View challenges as opportunities for deeper understanding. Play the long game of influence. Patience and persistence are key. A practical tip. Schedule a quarterly connection audit in your calendar. Overcoming lasting resistance. The final push. Concept. Addressing any lingering fears, doubts, or tendencies to revert to old patterns. Providing final psychological tools for maintaining momentum and commitment. Deep dive. Implement a relapse prevention strategy. Identify triggers for old habits and plan counter responses. Build a support system. Lean on trusted friends, mentors, or accountability partners. Revisit your why. Remember the profound benefits of connection when motivation wanes. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge how far you've come to fuel future efforts. Revisit the power of small steps. When overwhelmed, break it down into tiny, manageable actions. Practice self-forgiveness. If you stumble, pick yourself up and restart without judgment. An empowering statement. Your past does not dictate your future. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose connection. The power of compounding connection, your limitless impact. Concept. A final, vivid illustration of how each intentional connection, each act of generosity, each moment of authentic presence, compounds over time to create an extraordinary life and limitless impact. Deep dive. Understand the snowball effect. Small efforts accumulating into massive results. Recognize network effects. How each new connection exponentially increases the value of your existing network. Embrace the legacy loop. How your giving creates a cycle of receiving and further giving. Go beyond personal gain. experience the joy and fulfillment of contributing to something larger than yourself. Discover the unseen benefits, the serendipitous opportunities that arise from a well-cultivated network. Realize your unique contribution, how your specific blend of skills and connections can solve unique problems. Vision cast, imagine the doors that will open, the problems you'll solve, the lives you'll touch. Living your legacy now, the Connection Manifesto. Concept, encouraging you to not wait for future impact, but to begin living your legacy of connection and contribution today in your daily interactions. Deep dive. Embrace the action imperative. Don't just read, do. Practice daily intentionality. Every interaction is an opportunity. Create your personal Connection Manifesto, a final framework for you to declare your commitment to authentic connection, your personal values, and your vision for how you will use your influence. Take the first step. What is one single immediate action you will take after closing this book? The final call, the time for waiting is over. Your journey to unstoppable influence begins now. Let's revisit the story of Sarah, the network nomad. Recall her initial struggles and then vividly picture her current reality, emphasizing her continued growth, the enduring power of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework in her life, and the profound impact she now has on her industry and community. Her journey serves as a living testament to the book's promise. Think of the metaphor of the architect of your own universe. This grand metaphor positions you as the master architect of your own social and professional universe. Your connections are the foundational building blocks, your influence is the detailed blueprint, and your commitment to authentic principles is the unwavering hand that constructs a reality of your choosing, one rich with opportunity, support, and profound meaning. It emphasizes your agency and creative power. Research consistently shows that strong social networks are the single greatest predictor of happiness, longevity, and professional success. This statistic serves as a data-backed exclamation point to the entire journey. Consider a short, heartfelt, and deeply personal story about a profound connection that unexpectedly transformed your own life or career. This anecdote reinforces the deeply human core of the book's message, showing that even the master is still on the journey and that authentic connection is the most powerful force for personal and professional growth. Go forth, connect fearlessly, contribute generously, and create an unstoppable life defined by the power of your authentic influence. Chapter Introduction. You've absorbed the insights, embraced the framework, and witnessed the transformations. This isn't an ending, it's the dawn of the unstoppable you, a life of profound connections and limitless impact. Chapter Summary. Chapter 10 served as a powerful culmination, reaffirming the book's core principles and guiding the reader through an identity shift to become a master connector. It emphasized sustaining the journey, overcoming final resistance, and the compounding power of connection, culminating in a call to action to live a life of powerful connections and limitless impact. Exercises. Here are some exercises to help you integrate these concepts. First, a worksheet, My Personal Connection Manifesto. This detailed template helps you write your personal declaration of commitment to authentic connection. It includes sections for My Core Values in Connection. List 3 to 5 guiding principles. My vision for my network. What does my ideal network look like? How I will use my influence. List specific areas of impact. My daily connection pledge. One micro habit I commit to daily. My unstoppable statement. A personal affirmation. Now, some reflection questions. What is the single most important lesson or insight you will carry forward from this entire book, and how will it fundamentally change your approach to relationships? How has your definition of social success or networking changed since you started reading this book? Be specific about the shift in your perspective. For a journal prompt, consider this. Fast forward 1 year from today. You have consistently applied the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework and embraced your identity as an unstoppable connector. Describe your social and professional life in vivid detail. What opportunities have emerged, what relationships have deepened, and how do you feel about your impact? Here's a practical tip: the continuous learning loop. Identify one new book, podcast, online course, or mentor related to communication, psychology, leadership, or relationship building. Commit to engaging with this resource in the next month to continue your growth journey. For an influence hack, try the Generosity Ripple Pledge. Commit to making one unexpected, selfless act of generosity or connection for someone each week, without expectation of return. This could be a thoughtful introduction, sharing a valuable resource, or offering a word of genuine encouragement. To deepen your understanding, consider the psychology of self-identity, behavioral change, and the power of belief systems in achieving personal transformation. Also, longitudinal studies on the profound impact of strong social relationships on overall well-being, happiness, physical health, and professional longevity. Finally, philosophical and sociological perspectives on legacy, purpose, and the human need for contribution. Here are some actionable templates you can use. First, my next 90-day connection action plan. This is a structured, printable template to outline specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART goals for applying the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework in the coming 3 months. It includes sections for overall 90-day goal, key relationships to focus on, S.U.C.C.E.S.S step focus, for example, deepen understanding, specific weekly actions, metrics for success. Second, a post-book integration checklist. This is a checklist of key habits and mindset shifts to reinforce after finishing the book, ensuring continued application of the principles. Grand conclusion, the echo of connection. You stand now on the precipice of a new reality. The journey you've undertaken within these pages has been more than a lesson in tactics, it has been a profound re-education of the heart. You've learned that winning friends isn't about manipulation, but about genuine understanding. Building influence isn't about power over others, but about the power of connection, compassion, and contribution. The digital age, once a source of paradox and isolation, now becomes your expansive playground for authentic interaction. You possess the S.U.C.C.E.S.S framework, a blueprint for turning fleeting moments into enduring bonds. You've seen the proof in action, heard the stories of transformation, and now you embody the potential for your own extraordinary impact. Remember the quiet ache of disconnection? That yearning for deeper meaning and greater impact? It was never a weakness, it was a compass, guiding you here. Now that compass points true north, towards a life rich with purpose, fueled by connection and limitless in its possibilities. Go forth. Be authentic. Give generously. Listen deeply. The world awaits your unique influence. Your network is your net worth, and your relationships are your legacy.